going on, guys? Anthony here with Doable. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on setting up our shore power connection as well as our generator charge connection to our EG4 12000 XP. First, I'm going to get the shore power box wired up, get that mounted to the trailer, get the wires landed on the EG4 12000 XP inverter, and then we'll work on setting up the generator charge port or generator charge connections and the wires for the generator box as well. So stick around with me and let's get into it. Before we get there, however, I want to say, and I want to remind you, I am not an electrician. I'm not a certified electrician, nor am I certified in electricity, wiring, and so on and so forth. I just learned how to do this through watching various videos and experimentation. I've done my own electrical connections over the last few years on my trailers, and they've worked out significantly well for me. So with that being said, take this information as a how I did it session versus how it's to be done. And if you're not comfortable with working electricity or working with electricity and wiring, please guys consult a licensed professional to assist you, guide you, or get it done for you in a safe way. All right. Now, with that being said, let's get into it. Here I'm going to be making up a 50 amp plug for the generator connection on the trailer. Clearing my desk area here. Give me some room. For this, I'm using a 4, which is a 4 gauge wire with 4 conductors inside. Per the instructions on the EG4 12000 XP, I need to use a 4 gauge wire for the generator connection on the inverter. So as you can see here, standard 50 amp outlet box, just opening it up to get inside and make my connection. Then just measuring out my wires to see how long I need to strip back here. Strip it back right around here. Get my stripper on here. Rotate that about 3-4 times and pull it. Rips the wire down center and allows me to peel that off relatively easy. Hey guys, working on the 50 amp plug for my generator connection. Got it all wired up. Did this all off camera because there was a little bit of fighting going on off camera. These being 4-gauge wires, they are pretty beefy, and getting them all to cohabitate in this box wasn't the easiest thing, so it took a little bit of finagling. But we have our ground wire coming up to our ground lug, which would be our round prong here. Have our black wire, going to our line here. Next, red wire going to the other line, and the neutral wire here in the center. So we have ground, line 1, line 2, or line 1, line 2, and neutral. I'm going to be closing this box up and getting it secured. And there you have it. Strain relief is in place for so that the wire can't be pulled apart or pulled on the prongs, and it's all set. On to the next step. Now that the cable is coming in from the generator side, it's a matter of routing it up through my connection point here, or my clamp strap, to get it landed where it belongs. Taking some rough measurements here to see how much to strip back on my wire. Going to go right here and score it to mark it. Easier to do it outside of the inverter. Get it out and strip it back. Where did that mark go? Right there. That's the strain relief tightening up on the cable, guys, so it doesn't get pulled out. Now landing the cables on the various terminals. Line 1 and line 2 gets the red and black cables. Nice and snug. We'll get that torqued down later on. Line 2. Now landing, maybe shorten that up. Like having some extra just in case of future changes. Don't necessarily cut everything off. You never know when you just need to change something around or something to that nature. And getting the neutral in. There you have it. So generator connections are made. We'll clean this up, route in the cables appropriately. As you can see here, guys, the cable's gone through and tucked up under here. Be pulling the slack into the generator housing. And stubbed out right here to get plugged into its box once completed. So here's where the generator plug comes in from the inverter, guys, and will be plugged into this outlet on the wall here. I'll close that up and show you here in a sec. Figure I'll make a video on it now, so in case I get any questions about it later on. But this is no different from the, like similarly to my previous video with the generator plug for my inverter. I'm sorry, for my generator. We'll have two hot legs coming in here from the two wires going to the generator, coming off of each 30 amp plug. Both grounds are bonded together. Both neutrals are bonded together in here. All right, so we'll have our two hot legs, our ground leg, and our neutral leg up here. Okay, and I'll close this up here in a second and show you that. So that's the completed plug for the generator setup, guys. Okay, this plug will be coming from the generator. I have my two leads going to off to my generator, waiting on a plug to finish up the other end of this. So one end here for the 4-prong plug on the generator. This one will be the 3-prong plug. I'm waiting on that to come in from Amazon. We'll get that set up shortly. But that will come in and then split off in here and off to the inverter. Inverter will plug into here for generator charging, and that runs into the inverter. So I made it this way simply because it was a cleaner install versus trying to figure out how to branch off of here to get into 2 wires to get to the inverter. This was just a cleaner, neater way to get it done, in my opinion. And you'll see it in operation once I get it working. So as you can see here, guys, I've already got the box pretty much closed up. I'm going to open it up, walk you through the wiring process in there. I don't think everyone needs to see me stripping wires as I've been doing through some of the other videos, but take you through the way the box is configured inside. That way you can understand the final product. So hopefully everyone can see in here. This is a 50 amp outlet box. So it takes the 4 wires. I'm using a 4-4 wire, which is a 4 gauge 4 conductor wire that's in here. You have your red, your black, your green, and your white. So the green is up here. So our black, I typically land it on the X, which is line 1 or line 2, depends on how you look at it. If you're an electrician out there, please add it in the comment how that works or how that should be typically, but usually I land my black wire on my X terminal, that's down here, and then my red wire, I would put that on my Y terminal here. Our neutral wire goes on the W, which is the white, and then our ground wire, green, gets grounded to the box here, and then the box ground gets sent into the plug as well. So again, this is just a very typical 50 amp box that basically is fairly easy to wire up. You'll probably notice there's a red and black wire running through here, another little adapter box sitting on here. This is for going to house my rapid shutdown button that is going to be part of my system revamping, which will have more to come on that. That is going to get ran through and get sent into the inverter. And as far as the strain relief that's in here, it's just a wire clamp that was connected through the back of the box and tied in to secure that, make it nice and tight. And that way, if the wires got pulled on, it's not causing any strain on the terminals themselves. But this came out pretty good, pretty satisfied, pretty happy with it. And we're just going to go ahead and now get this mounted up to the trailer. All right, guys, so the installation of this is already drilled my hole out to accommodate the wires going through. Basically just feeding that in to the box, pulling the wires through. Just doing a dry fit right now just to see what I need, and that's looking pretty good. I get a bead of silicone around the top of my box and get that secured onto the trailer here. Nice liberal bead of silicone on the top, This is just to prevent water from getting down to the inlet box here, sealing the top of the box so water should pool off to the side and go down. Screws. And I grab my level, get a ballpark of where I want it. Looks good. Drop that level and get me a screw in here. It's on there nice and secure. Double check everything else, make sure that everything was tight, and get it pushed in. There you go. There it is. And wires are in. Now we just got to get that landed inside and secure it to the Okay, now we got all our wires stripped and to length. It's about landing them on their respective terminals and trim that back a little bit. Just so you know, guys, the 4-gauge wire is pretty thick. Again, I think I've mentioned it before. this ground terminal that I'm inserting these into did not accommodate them in its current form. So I took my ground terminal out by just removing the two screws and modified the holes for the ground term for these 4-gauge ground wires, and worked out very well. That way I didn't have to do anything wonky with the wiring to downsize and upsize and so on to get it to work. This makes for much cleaner install and not having to worry about multiple connection points. Now I'm just gonna route this guy over. Now move this terminal here. Get this one out. Get this guy in here. Now our two hots, which are lines, line 1 and line 2, gonna keep them consistent. Red on line 2.
On the box, the shore power box is the black, meaning line 1, and red was on the Y terminal, which is line 2 here. Now that those are all in, pop these back on with protective covers. I will get these torqued to spec here before everything else is done, but we do have quite a bit more wiring to go. Going to be working on setting up our loads. So this breaker will be wired into the trailer for running the trailer itself, the loads off of here. And this smart load breaker is just running this outlet that was installed right here in the box. So it's just going to be housing this small conductor wire because it's just running one small.
So there it is, guys. Our shore power connection and generator connections are complete. We have our shore power wire coming in from our shore power box. Our cable comes out the bottom, out the side, and to our shore power box, mounted right there. Red wire is on line 2 on the inverter. That was connected to our X port on the shore power box. Our black wire is connected to line 1 on the grid side of the inverter. That's connected to our Y port on the shore power box. Our neutral wire or ground wire, all terminated back there. And our generator wire was coming from our generator port, coming down, out the box to the bottom and back into the generator box on the other side. And same thing there, ground wire is terminated in the back And I might have mentioned this before, but for you guys that know or may not know, the ground bar back there is not, the holes in it are not big enough to accommodate a 4 gauge ground wire. So I ended up having to take mine out and drill them out a little bit to accommodate the 4 gauge wire. So that way I didn't have to do anything weird with trying to step down from the 4 gauge wire to a smaller wire. This way I just have one connection point to worry about back there and less headaches, less a cleaner install and just less things to worry about. Now we're going to focus on getting our load wires ran. Going to be similarly done to these 4 gauge wires going into the trailer. So we'll be coming off our load breaker here and going out this other knockout and punching another hole somewhere around here maybe, and out to under the trailer and inside to the panel that's in there. Our smart breaker over here is currently just connected to a Romex wire here, goes out the inverter into a flexible conduit that just goes up the side here and into this outlet box and terminated. And basically all that's going to be running is my um, control box here that is a thermometer, programmable thermometer that will um, activate these outlets based on the temperature that it senses inside this box. It has 2 temperature leads, one here above the exhaust fan that I installed, and the other one is just tucked away back here. Okay, so once the temperature gets to about 90 degrees or so inside this box, I think I have it set to kick on and keep the fans running. So that will control this intake fan here. So it will suck fresh air into the bottom of the box. The inverter will then suck that air in over here on the filter side and exhaust hot air here. And as the temperature rises in the box, then these fans will kick on. This is the exhaust fan to the box that will expel the hot air in the back of the box here. So if you can see that, try to get there you go. So that's the fan in the back of the box here that will expel the hot air. So until next time. So there it is, guys. Until next time, thanks again for watching. Hopefully you're finding this information helpful and insightful or interesting. Um, if you do, consider, hitting the like button, subscribing, hitting the notification bell so that way you can get notified as new videos come out. But there is plenty more to come here as we get this project rolling. See you next time.